The untold story often begins not with a bang, but with a quiet, persistent hum, the soft whir of a machine that promised a future few could yet grasp. It is the narrative of a college dropout, a young man who possessed an uncanny ability to peer beyond the immediate horizon, envisioning a world utterly transformed by the power of computation. This is the chronicle of Bill Gates, a name now synonymous with digital revolution, whose journey from a privileged yet intellectually demanding upbringing to global titan is a testament to unwavering vision and relentless ambition. Born into comfort in Seattle, Washington, Bill Gates's early life was marked by an intense, almost competitive drive for knowledge. His parents, a prominent lawyer and a university regent, instilled in him a thirst for achievement that would define his trajectory. It was at the exclusive lakeside school that the nascent spark of his genius found its true kindling. There, amidst the clatter of teletype machines and the esoteric language of early computing, he encountered his intellectual counterpart and lifelong friend Paul Allen. Their bond was forged not just in shared fascination, but in a friendly rivalry, pushing each other to master the arcane arts of programming. They spent countless hours huddled over terminals, often skipping other classes, their minds alight with the possibilities these colossal machines presented. This early exposure wasn't merely a hobby. It was a profound immersion that quickly blossomed into their first entrepreneurial venture. They called it Traf-O-Data, a system designed to analyze traffic flow data for local governments. Though commercially modest, Traf-O-Data proved to be a pivotal experience, a crucible where their raw talent was refined and their understanding of software's practical applications deepened. More importantly, it ignited a profound realization within Gates. The mainframe computers they were wrestling with were merely precursors. The true revolution lay in the microcomputer, a device small enough and eventually affordable enough to find a place on every desk, in every home. This burning desire, this audacious dream of democratizing computing, became the unwavering North Star guiding his every subsequent move. Gates's academic prowess led him to Harvard University, a brief but impactful chapter in his life. While ostensibly pursuing a law degree, his true passion lay elsewhere, often manifesting in late-night coding sessions rather than legal studies. The turning point arrived with the January 1975 issue of Popular Electronics, emblazoned with the Altair 8800, the world's first personal computer kit. For Gates and Allen, it was an epiphany. They knew, with absolute certainty, that this was the machine that would bring their vision to life. In a moment of audacious bluffing, Gates called Emites, the Altair's manufacturer, claiming to have a basic interpreter ready for their new machine. It was a lie, a calculated gamble, but one that secured them a chance to prove themselves. The die was cast. Against the wishes of his parents, Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard. He and Paul Allen packed their bags and moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico, the home of MIT's. There, fueled by caffeine and an almost obsessive dedication, they embarked on an intense, relentless coding marathon, turning their audacious lie into a tangible reality. The first version of Altair Basic was born, a foundational piece of software that would enable countless others to interact with the new machines. Yet, their early journey was far from smooth. The fledgling company, dubbed Microsoft, grappled with significant hurdles. Software piracy became a frustrating and pervasive issue, with hobbyists freely copying their hard-won code, undermining their financial stability. Initial financial instability was a constant shadow, and growing tensions with MITS over licensing agreements threatened to derail their progress. They were innovators in a nascent industry, facing challenges that had no precedent. Despite these early struggles, a glimmer of hope began to shine through. Microsoft secured crucial deals beyond MITS, slowly building a reputation for reliable, innovative software. This independence allowed them to make a decisive move, relocating their operations to Bellevue, Washington, a strategic shift that signaled their ambition and paved the way for broader expansion. The relentless pursuit of new opportunities, the unwavering belief in the potential of software kept them pushing forward, setting the stage for a monumental breakthrough. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. The stage was set, the foundations laid, but the true challenge lay ahead. A monumental opportunity that would either elevate Microsoft to unimaginable heights or crush their audacious dreams under the weight of an unforgiving, rapidly evolving world. The monumental opportunity arrived in the form of a phone call from IBM, the undisputed titan of the computing world. They were developing a personal computer, a revolutionary machine, and they needed an operating system. This was the moment Bill Gates had always envisioned. The chance to put Microsoft's software at the heart of a global phenomenon. During the legendary meeting, Gates, ever the shrewd negotiator, made a crucial bluff. He assured IBM that Microsoft could provide an operating system, despite lacking one of their own. This audacious promise set in motion a frantic search and ultimately led him to a small company called Seattle Computer Products, which had developed an operating system named QDOS, or Quick and Dirty Operating System. Gates, with remarkable foresight, acquired QDOS for a mere $51, rebranding it as MS-DOS. The true stroke of genius, however, came in the negotiation with IBM. Gates insisted that Microsoft retain the licensing rights to MS-DOS, a decision that would prove to be one of the most pivotal in technological history. When the IBM PC launched, it was an unprecedented success, and with every unit sold, a copy of MS-DOS went with it. Microsoft's software became the invisible engine driving millions of personal computers, catapulting the company from a promising startup to a powerful force in the burgeoning industry. The rapid growth was exhilarating, yet it brought immense pressure. Maintaining their dominant position required constant innovation, a relentless work ethic that saw Gates pushing himself and his team to their absolute limits. The world was changing at an incredible pace, and Microsoft had to stay not just abreast, but ahead. Gates, with his uncanny ability to anticipate future trends, soon recognized the limitations of the text-based MS-DOS interface. He envisioned a more intuitive, visually driven experience, a graphical user interface. This vision gave birth to Windows. The development process was long and arduous, fraught with technical challenges and internal debates. Early versions of Windows were met with skepticism, even resistance, from a market accustomed to command lines. Critics questioned its utility, mocking its clunky performance. Yet Gates held firm, pouring resources and unwavering belief into its evolution, convinced that a user-friendly interface was the key to unlocking computing for the masses. As Windows slowly gained traction, Microsoft's strategies became increasingly aggressive. They employed what would later be termed embrace and extend, taking existing technologies, integrating them into their own products, and then extending their functionality to gain market dominance. Strategic partnerships, often with hardware manufacturers, ensured that Microsoft's software was pre-installed on new machines, creating a formidable ecosystem. This ruthless competitive drive inevitably led to growing tensions, particularly with Apple and its visionary co-founder Steve Jobs. The rivalry between Gates and Jobs, two titans with profoundly different philosophies, would define an era of technological innovation and fierce market battles. Microsoft's increasing market share and pervasive influence, however, began to draw unwanted attention. The perception of anti-competitive practices started to solidify, leading to the beginnings of legal challenges and government scrutiny. Accusations of monopolistic behavior mounted, painting Microsoft as a predatory giant, crushing smaller innovators. The very success Gates had tirelessly pursued now threatened to become a legal quagmire. Internally, the relentless pace took its toll. Gates's legendary work ethic, often involving 18-hour days and intense focus, strained his personal life. The dynamics within Microsoft also shifted, most notably with the departure of Paul Allen, who, after battling Hodgkin's lymphoma, sought a different path. The constant battle to stay ahead in a rapidly changing industry, coupled with the escalating legal battles, created an environment of intense pressure and internal conflict. Microsoft was a colossal force, a testament to Gates's unwavering vision, but its very success had sown the seeds of its greatest challenge, threatening to tear down everything he had so meticulously built. The gathering storm finally broke over Microsoft in the form of dramatic government lawsuits, accusing the tech giant of anti-competitive practices. Bill Gates, once seen as an innovative disruptor, now found himself defending his company against charges of monopolistic behavior. His defiant stance, often characterized by unyielding confidence during court proceedings, drew intense public scrutiny. The personal toll of these prolonged legal battles was immense, as Gates poured his relentless energy into protecting Microsoft's empire, even as the world watched, often critically. The weight of these challenges was palpable, a stark contrast to the exhilaration of Microsoft's early triumphs. Just as the antitrust battle raged, a new, unforeseen tidal wave began to swell: the Internet revolution. Gates, in a rare misstep, initially underestimated the Internet's transformative potential, famously dismissing it as a passing fad. However, his astute adaptability quickly kicked in. Recognizing the existential threat and immense opportunity, he spearheaded a rapid shift in Microsoft's strategy, pivoting the entire company to embrace and dominate the web. This sudden, aggressive pivot ignited the fierce browser wars, pitting Microsoft's Internet Explorer against Netscape Navigator in a battle for the soul of the nascent World Wide Web. Microsoft's formidable resources and strategic bundling with Windows ultimately secured its dominance in this new frontier, but not without further accusations of leveraging its monopoly. As the new millennium dawned, Gates, perhaps weary from the relentless battles and sensing a shift in his own priorities, began to contemplate a transition. In 2000, he made the momentous decision to hand over the CEO reins to his trusted colleague, Steve Ballmer, stepping into the role of chief software architect to focus on product development. This marked the beginning of a gradual, profound shift in his life's focus, moving away from the daily grind of corporate leadership towards a new, deeply personal journey of re-evaluating his purpose. The man who had once been singularly defined by Microsoft started to envision a different kind of legacy. This re-evaluation culminated in the establishment of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in 2000, jointly founded with his wife, Melinda Gates. What began as a modest philanthropic endeavor rapidly transformed into a global powerhouse dedicated to tackling some of humanity's most pressing challenges. The ambitious goals of global health improvement, extreme poverty reduction, and expanding educational opportunities became the new battlegrounds for Gates's formidable intellect and strategic prowess. The Foundation's massive scale of operations and its scientific, data-driven approach to philanthropy quickly made it one of the most influential charitable organizations worldwide, funneling billions into groundbreaking initiatives. The transformation in public perception was remarkable. The image of the ruthless businessman, often portrayed as a corporate villain during the antitrust trials, gradually morphed into that of a global humanitarian. This redemption wasn't merely a public relations exercise, it was fueled by the genuine, impactful work of the Foundation. Gates openly reflected on the immense power of wealth and its potential for good, advocating for other billionaires to commit their fortunes to philanthropy. The ongoing work of the Foundation, though facing its own set of complex challenges in diverse global contexts, solidified his new identity. Microsoft's continued legacy in technology remains undeniable, a testament to the enduring influence of Bill Gates's original vision. From personal computing to cloud services, the company he built continues to shape the digital world. Yet, the lasting influence of Bill Gates himself now encompasses far more than just software. His complex, multifaceted legacy is that of a man who not only put a computer on every desk, but then dedicated his vast fortune and intellect to addressing global inequities. Bill Gates, the architect of the digital age, ultimately found a new, profound purpose, proving that true power lies not just in creation and dominance, but in giving back to the world he helped shape, leaving an indelible mark that transcends technology.